And it goes a little something like.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Leah and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be back for another video. So I am back once again with another video and we are getting into episode 3. I spit a little. Episode 3 of Bel-Air, and I am so excited to dig into this episode. Okay, so let me tell you guys, it has been a little bit of a struggle to make this video. Honestly, it's just been on me, but I have just been feeling so this week. Right now, my stomach is currently killing me. You know, I'm having a little bit of fiber issues, if you get what I'm talking about. The girls who get it, get it. And it's a lot going on. So yeah, I'm not feeling the best. And I tried to film this video a couple days ago, and when I was getting ready, I was just like, nah, I'm not feeling it. Not doing it, so I didn't do it. And I know like I shouldn't have that attitude about it because I have to get these videos out weekly, like, so I know like there's no room to procrastinate. I know that I'm getting better every week, I promise you. But this week has just been a lot. I feel like I probably can say that about every week. I have just been feeling lately, but I'm back, baby. Okay, I'm back and we're gonna get into it. Right now it is like 10 something at night when I'm filming this video. I worked today, cooked, took a shower, did the things, just did the normal things. Hopefully I go to the gym tomorrow. That is my plan. Fingers crossed that it happens. Okay, I really need to go to the gym and get my summer body intact. I saw this post today saying that there was like so many weeks to unwind my back before it gets hot outside and we start wearing, the cute little clothes showing the skin. And I am not there yet, okay? I am not there yet. I'm giving winter body yaddy yaddy, not summer, but I will get there. Look at my nose, y'all. I'm getting my nose done on Friday, but like, do you see this? Not okay. I hate when my nail polish chips. It's very rare that my nail polish ever chips because I get gel, but I don't know what this is about, but whatever. I'm so tired, y'all. Very tired. But who cares, because we're about to get into this video. That was me hyping myself up. I'm hot. It is hot in my room right now. Probably because I was just like moving everything around. So, whew. Okay, I'm trying not to sweat because I am like a very oily girl and you can see it like already. So I'm really trying not to sweat and be more shiny than I already am. I do like looking like a glazed donut, but whew, not too much though, not too much. Okay, so before we get into this video, let's have a drink. Cheers. Okay guys, so let's dive into this video. All right, so episode 3 of Bel-Air, it's getting heated. Season 2 is off to a great start and we're on episode 3 right now, and it is a lot happened. So episode 3, the main focus was about the protest. So in the previous episode, episode 2, Ashley's teacher got fired from the middle school And Ashley was really sad about it, of course. Everybody agreed that Miss Hughes is an amazing teacher, and they were just really shocked about it. And so her parents were like, okay, let's look into this and all of that. So the majority of the episode, like I said, is all about getting ready for this protest and the actual protest. So the beginning half of the episode was all about the kids coming together, getting ready for this protest. They were making signs, banners, speeches, all of it, setting up for the walkout. And this was all at the Banks family home. So the parents were helping, Jeffrey was helping, everybody was helping. It was a collective effort. This really put Carlton's character in a different light. Like I said, I mean, he was the one who really suggested this. So he was kind of the leader in some ways. So he was kind of the leader of this. I don't think he necessarily wanted to, but he was the leader of this. When Carlton originally said that they should rally behind Miss Hughes to get her job back, that was episode 2, and he was very confident about it. But then in this episode, the advisor of the BSU decided to mess with Carlton's mind just a little bit, okay? And really a lot. And she decided to try to convince Carlton to stop the protest because it wouldn't look good for the school, of course. And by the way, I mean, if you watched it, obviously you know this is a black woman that was doing it, which was disappointing because it's like, girl, come on. You know what the school is doing is wrong, but whatever. It kind of comes out that she wants a higher position in the school, and that's why she's trying to encourage the BSU to not go through with this protest. So what does she do? Of course, go to Carlton, the model student, a student who doesn't break the rules and plays by the book. So she gets in his head saying that this is not going to look good on his record, and they were talking about giving a scholarship to him. It's this big scholarship that they give out at the school that I think in episode 1 of this season, Lisa was telling him about, that he should go for it for college or whatever. And so the advisor's saying, you know, like, he's basically the first candidate that they want to pick for this scholarship, and this will look bad if, you know, and if this protest happens, it's going to look bad on him and he might not get the scholarship and all that stuff. And of course, like, she's an adult and he is a child. He's a teenager, a minor, and he also deals with anxiety. So I feel like that kind of plays with his head a little bit. When you're dealing with anxiety, you know that reality, what you're thinking in your head is not always reality and what is actually happening. So for Carlton, her saying all of that, it was just a lot for him to take in, and he's just like, okay, all right, let me try to stop this protest. But at the same time, he does want to fight for this cause, and he already rallied all of the BSU and other students to rally for this cause. Kind of stuck in between the middle, like, should he stick by the book and be the same old Carlton that we know him to be, or should he stand up for something that he really believes in? So let's get into when all the students were at the Banks family home. So they were making signs and banners and all of that to get ready for the protest. So during all of this, the president of the BSU, I forget her name, but I'll put it on the screen because I can't remember her name. But this is the president of the BSU, and this is also someone who Carlton has a crush on. He's kind of like a little bit scared to kind of go for it. It seems like she's kind of feeling him too, but nothing has really happened yet between them. They just kind of like give each other the eye, but that's pretty much it. And they don't know each other super well because they don't really hang out in the same crowd. So this is like their first time really getting to know each other with the whole BSU and this protest. So she suggests that Carlton should give a speech. Originally, they were going to write an article about why they were protesting, but they thought that it would be, well, she thought and everybody else thought that it would be a better idea to have someone give a speech. And they thought the best person to give the speech would be Carlton. Why? Because he is a model student. He never gets in trouble. He plays by the book. So if someone like him would give this speech on how he is so outraged about what happened to Miss Huge, it would really make a big impact. When she suggested that, Carlton was immediately kind of uncomfortable, like, I don't want to do it. Why don't you do it? You're the president of the BSU. And she was like, nah, it would make more of an impact if you did it for the reasons I just said. And so he agreed to do it. At first he got a little bit mad, but he did agree to do it because it made sense and he understood. So him and the president of the BSU, they decide to write a speech and they go off to a separate room. And this was the first time that they really were alone and got to connect one-on-one, which was nice to see Carlton connect with a girl. In the first season, he was broken up with Lisa, and then Lisa moved on with his cousin Will. That was hard for Carlton to kind of get through, but he did. And so it's nice to see him with this other girl and exploring that connection. So this was the first time that they really got to like talk one-on-one and they really connect, which was nice to see Carlton happy. Like, Carlton's character, he's just so sweet. Everybody who watched season 1 knows Carlton's character in the beginning got on everybody's nerves. Like, it was just too much. He was just way too Bel-Air. Way too Bel-Air. But his character grew on just about everybody. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but his character grew on me, and he just has such a sweet presence, and he just deals with a lot with his anxiety. So it's a lot that always goes on with his character. But at the core, he's just really sweet. And I just like, I don't know, I just feel like he'd be going through so much and I'd just be like, oh, little baby, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry, don't worry. Like, he's just so like adorable. Okay, so while everybody is getting ready for this protest, other things that are going on in the house is that Lisa is there. She's a part of the BSUs, obviously she's there. And she seems to be connecting with Drew, who is a student at Bel-Air Academy as well. We saw him in the previous episodes. He's a member of the BSU. He is kind of obnoxious, but I guess he has a good side to him. Him and Carlton don't really get along that well, but whatever. So him and Lisa are talking about the protest and the Black Lives Matter movement, and they're just connecting and just talking. Will sees them talking and kind of peeping in, is like, what's going on? And then Will's friend Tyler, that he's on the basketball team with, the white guy, he's like, oh, finally Lisa and Drew is connecting. Apparently Drew has been feeling Lisa for a while, but it seems that she's always getting booed up. First it was Carlton, then it was Will. So now he's like, let me swoop in and try to get my turn. I don't know if Lisa really likes him that deep, but we'll see. I mean, that will come. And Will's like, I'm not feeling it. Like, so he decides to be a hater, you know? Typical guy thing to do. He goes over and says some slick stuff to them or whatever. And it's very clear that he is not over Lisa. So clearly there's still something there, especially from Will. I think Lisa is kind of coming to terms with them just being friends. They had a little moment earlier at the school with them just like breaking the ice and just being friendly with each other, and I think she's coming to terms with just being friends with him, and then he is realizing that he still has feelings for her, because guys always realize things late, even though he's entertaining Jackie still. I didn't forget the previous episodes, okay? But whatever. Hopefully that doesn't go anywhere, but yeah. Also, Aunt Viv does ask Lisa to be her assistant for her art show that's coming up. Originally, she wanted Hillary to do it, but Hillary was like, girl, I don't have the time, okay? I am running an influencer house with a girl who's absolutely obnoxious to work with. Yes, I'm talking about Ivy. Hillary didn't say that, but I'll say that for Hillary because we're gonna get into the Ivy-Hillary situation in this episode. Just wait, okay? We're gonna get into that. But Hillary doesn't have time. She already has to deal with all of that. She has to deal with the house. She has to deal with Ivy. She didn't have time to help her mama. So Hillary was like, why don't you get an assistant to help you? So Aunt Viv decides to ask Lisa to help her and be her assistant for her art show. And that was a beautiful moment. Lisa was very happy. I like to see that relationship because I know Lisa's mom has passed away. And so Aunt Viv being like a mother figure to her, it's just a really beautiful relationship to see because she's kind of missing that since her mom is dead and her dad is remarried, but his wife is, I was gonna say something that wasn't really nice, but to sum it up, his new wife is the worst. Not surprising because Lisa's dad is the worst as well, so they go together. It makes sense. Anywho, it was nice to see that relationship between her and Aunt Viv, and hopefully they'll have more scenes together because I think she does need like that mother figure in her life, and I think she really will benefit from this. And that just has to be hard to lose your mom at such a young age. So I think this will definitely be good for Lisa. Okay, so a lot is going on at this pre-protest rally meeting. A lot is going on. There's a lot of storylines going on. Also, Aunt Viv and Hillary are talking. Hillary pulls her mom to the side and does ask her how she felt about Jazz and how her dad felt about meeting Jazz as her boyfriend. And the mom was she was giving nothing. Like, Hillary was trying to get the tea on how they felt and how her dad felt. She was like really focused on how her dad felt. And Aunt Viv was just like, I'm not giving anything. Like, it is what it is. She said she's not getting involved with any of her relationships and her boyfriend because I guess she had a previous boyfriend who maybe they had like a lot of feelings about. They wanted her to marry him and be with him, and it didn't work out. So after that, they were just like, all right, you do you in your relationships and then we'll stay out of it. But now that she's really into Jazz and she's in this relationship that she really loves, well, I don't know if they're at love yet, but she's really enjoying. She wants to know what her parents think about the relationship, especially her dad. So her mom gave her absolutely nothing. For me, I hope that the parents are not too hard on Jazz. I know like dads are, no dad like really thinks that anybody is good enough for their daughter at first. Like, there's always going to be something there. There's always something that they're like, he could be better at this. Like, he's not that great. Just remember that. My dad's the same way. I think he's just being a dad. That's just how dads are. So I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out in the next couple episodes. Jazz was not in this episode. Jazz was not in this episode at all. So it did break my heart that he wasn't in this episode, but it's okay. It's okay. He better be in episode 4 though. I'm not playing, he better be in episode 4. That's all I have to say. But yeah, I think that there might be a little bit of, of tension, normal tension between Uncle Phil and Jazz. And I think they're gonna bring her boyfriend back from the past, her ex back, because I did see something like that in the preview. So they're probably gonna be bring him back. That's gonna, have a little bit of drama with it. But overall, I think her and Jazz are a cute couple, and I think they complement each other very well. So I don't know what the future holds for them, but I think it's positive. I don't like saying that because I feel like it might they might prove me wrong, but I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that they're gonna work out. Like it's gonna work out. Oh, I don't know. If they don't work out, it's probably Jazz's fault. No, I'm just kidding. Not me just blaming the man. But like, yeah, it probably will be his fault. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it could be Hillary's fault. You never know. I don't know. But I think it's gonna work out. Anywho. Another thing that was happening at this pre-rally meeting is that, and this is a more serious note, Uncle Phil did pull Will to the side and let him know that Carlton has lowered his dosage with his medication, and he told Will to really keep an eye out on Carlton and his behavior and watch out for signs of him basically like having a mental breakdown, or anxiety attack. And he told Will that nothing is too small, so if you see something, please tell me and your aunt. And clearly that is really important. I think, you know, Carlton has struggled with anxiety in the past. He's had breakdowns and been overwhelmed by his anxiety. And I don't feel that Uncle Phil was fully on board with lowering his dosage, but he wanted to do what felt best to Carlton and the doctor, so he did agree to it. But I think he still does have his concerns and his worries, which is understandable, honestly. And you know, it's hard. It's hard dealing with anxiety. I'm sure it's hard dealing with a child with anxiety. So he just wants to make sure that Will, because he goes to school with him and he's close to Carlton and they're always hanging out, he's just like, listen, any sign, let me know. Me personally, I'm not really sure if Will was like the best person to ask. I mean, obviously he's really close to Carlton, so he had to ask him. But sometimes Will is like a little bit selfish, in my opinion. So he gets kind of caught up in like his own things that he doesn't really take the time out to see what's going on with Carlton until like it explodes and Carlton's on the floor crying. So yeah. Okay, so let's keep that conversation that Will and Uncle Phil had in mind when we talk about the rest of the episode. All right. So, last thing I want to touch on about what happened at the pre-protest meeting is that Miss Hughes came and gave a brief speech on how she's so thankful for everybody rallying behind her and trying to get her job back, and she's so grateful to her students and thankful for her students and her former students and everybody helping her cause. And she gave this speech. It was beautiful. It was a great moment to see. Ashley invited her. It was just a great moment for them to embrace, because Ashley's character was feeling a little bit guilty about getting Miss Hughes fired. It's clearly not her fault, but when you're 13, you might think obviously that this is your fault and you got her fired, but that is not the case, obviously. So it was nice to see them embrace. It's always just nice to see Ashley and Miss Hughes have like scenes together and moments together, because Miss Hughes, who is played by Tatiana Ali, was the original Ashley in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So it's just so nostalgic and so cute. Like, I just love those scenes. Like, it's so cute because it's like, oh, you were Ashley. Like, you were Ashley and now she's Ashley, and then both of y'all are Ashley. It's I love it. I love how they cast that. I love how they wrote that. Like, yes, I love to see those moments. So she gave a brief speech, and then Phil, they didn't show this, but Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv had a discussion in the scene after, and basically Uncle Phil was able to talk to Miss Hughes and kind of get more of the story about why she got fired and all of that. And he kind of just said that basically, like, not that legally they kind of had grounds to fire her because she was working outside of the syllabus. And so they decide, well, Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil agree that they need like a bigger cause to rally for. So they tell the kids, and now not only are they rallying to save her job and to get her back, but now their focus and their cause for this protest is also to change the curriculum at Bel-Air Academy, the middle school and the high school, because that is the key issue. That is the reason why Miss Hughes was working outside of the syllabus, is because this tag is getting on my, like, why would they put a tag right here? Like, whoever made this shirt, ridiculous. Like, you put a tag in the back, why would you put a tag right here? It's so ugly. Okay, the main issue is the curriculum that is being taught at the school, because it's not reflecting any Black stories, and that's the issue. So that's what they're going to be focusing on in the protest as well. All right, let's get to the actual day of the protest, because that's when all the drama happens, all the drama. So the morning of the protest, bam, okay, Ashley, Carlton, and Will, they're about to head to school. Ashley's like, hey, here's the banner. I can't go. They sent an email that all of the middle schoolers can't join the protest because they will get suspended. So they're like, what? And then Carlton is like, listen, it's okay, Ashley. We're still gonna fight for Miss Hughes and for this cause. And I'll hang the banner so you can see from your classroom. And she's like, thank you, Carlton. All of that, yada yada yada. And Carlton does something. I think like he like pulls his tie, or he does something that Will kind of looks at him like, I wonder if that's a sign like Uncle Phil was talking about. But I feel like he kind of brushes it off, and they head to school, and you know, I don't feel like they really like circle back on that in that moment. So they head to school, and the high schoolers at Bel-Air Academy realize that they will also be suspended if they join the protest. And so now they're trying to figure out what they should do. Some of the students don't want to do it because they're like, hey, like I totally agree with this cause, but I don't want to get suspended. This is just not what I signed up for. And you know, the advisor of the BSU, that lady, is putting pressure on Carlton. She's giving him the looks. He's like, oh my God, what do I do? Oh my God. His anxiety is building up at this point. His anxiety was building up throughout the whole episode, but the day of the protest, obviously his anxiety is at an all-time high. At this point, it's not even at the highest point, but it's building up inch by inch throughout the day. So Carlton, throughout this whole episode, is trying to find ways to stop this protest without saying he wants to stop this protest. Like, in his heart, I feel like he wants this protest to happen, but at the same time, he's kind of like, I need to stop this protest. I need to shut it down because of what the advisor told him about the scholarship and all that. So he's battling this whole time of what he should do. So in his head, he's like, okay, let me try to find a way for us to get what we want in the situation and not have to protest or get suspended and do all that. So him and excuse me, so Carlton and the president of the BSU, the young lady that, you know, he likes, they have a meeting with the principal, and the conclusion was they can have the protest, nobody would get suspended, but they can't have any banners, any signs, and they can't have any speeches and speak out against the school. And so that was the agreement, and then they would the school agreed to look over the curriculum and make changes. Like, they're really gonna do that, but you know, whatever. That's what they said they were gonna do. And Will wasn't having it. Will, I don't know what Will is necessarily going through. Like I said in my last video, I like the kid. I do. But his character is like going through this I'm from Philly and I want to be a rebel and stand up for what I believe in, which I totally love that about him. Like, I totally love standing up for what you believe in and standing up for this cause. Like, I like that about him. But also, like, the rebel part of, like, I'm gonna do what I want to do and let's just fuck the system and all this stuff. It's like, okay, all right, well, like, we get it, calm down. And he did that with his team. He didn't listen to his coach and he decided to do his own thing. And he's just like on his own little journey of being like really cocky and arrogant and really Philly, as he would describe it. But he keeps saying like, this is the real Will is back and all this stuff. Is just annoying. So Will is not having it, which I get. Like, he wants to make a bigger statement and he's like, the school is not about to do nothing and they're just basically trying to shut us up, and I'm not with that, which I totally do understand. And Carlton, on the other hand, is like, well, I mean, they said they were going to do this and let's just compromise and all this stuff. So Will walks out the room when everybody agrees to just like do the protest but like not say anything. Basically, Will storms out the room because he is just fed up, and Carlton goes after him, and Will's trying to convince him that like this is not right, they're trying to silence us and all this, and Carlton's just like, we got to play the fetch, you know, just being very Carlton. And the BSU president comes out and basically agrees with Will, and it's like, no, we should speak up. She told Carlton that he should still do his speech and that basically they should do what they planned to do before they had that agreement with the principal. And it sounds like a good plan to most. Sounds like a good plan to me. But Carlton, on the other hand, who is not used to not playing by the books, is his anxiety kicked up another notch. But he couldn't, it's like he couldn't express that. So like one side of him is like, oh my God, I can't do this. But the other side is like, no, I want to fight for this. So he agrees to go for it and still do the speech, all of that. And so everybody is kind of looking at Carlton as this leader at this point. And Carlton is not looking at himself in the same way. He's like, he's getting very overwhelmed with it all. And as a viewer, I already knew what was going to happen. I was like, yeah, this is not going to go well. Like, they're looking at him to be the leader, especially the president of the BSU. She's looking at him to be the leader, and his anxiety level is just going up by the minute. And to sum it up, when they had the protest, they walked out. Carlton led the walkout and all of that. And he wanted to stick by the book because it's Carlton. And like I said, he's like on the fence with standing up for what's right, and then that advisor got in his head, so he's kind of just like on the fence. And he, you know, just wants to stick by the book, not say anything, just have that silent protest. But obviously, like, Will is not about that. The president of the BSU, she's not about that. A lot's going on. They like take her, they take the banner from her, all this stuff. And at this point, Carlton's anxiety is just going up a notch, going up a notch, going up a notch. At this point, she's like, Carlton, come on, jump on the table, do your speech, like, let them know what we are here for. Carlton, at this point, his anxiety is through the roof. He can't think straight. He can't talk straight. He's like, oh my God, what do I do? And so he walks away and is having an anxiety attack, a breakdown at this point, because it's just way too much for his character. Which Lisa told, not only did Uncle Phil tell Will to watch out for Carlton and signs of his anxiety, but Lisa also in the beginning of the episode told Will, hey, this is new territory for Carlton. He's not used to being a leader in this way. He's not used to not going by the book and basically shaking the system. That's not him. So you know, have him tread lightly, talk to him, just make sure you're watching him. Will did no such thing, but you know, whatever. He's young. And so Carlton walks away having a mental breakdown. They're like, what is going on? The president of the BSU is like, what is happening? She's feeling Carlton. So now she's like, what are you doing? You're just leaving. And then Drew, that guy that Lisa was talking to earlier in the episode that Carlton kind of has tension with, he's just like, what is wrong with him? I don't like his character. I just feel like he's a bully. I get it, like he's super down and all that stuff, and Carlton is a little bit of an L7. You know, he was friends with Connor, so that's enough said, you know, and I get why he has his issues with Carlton, but at the same time, like if you see someone freaking out like that, my first initial thought wouldn't be to like be rude to that person and be like, what's wrong with them, and like be an ass about it. I would like try to help the situation, but they don't know he suffers from anxiety. Only Lisa knows, and you know, like Will and his family knows, but at school only Lisa knows, so everybody else isn't aware of that situation. But still, even I would be like, okay, something is up with him. But also, like, I'm grown, I'm not in high school, so maybe it might be different if I was young and really didn't think that deep about situations. But yeah. So Carlton's character at this point leaves and is having an anxiety attack. And let me tell you, I don't know if I can just relate to having that much anxiety, but when I'm watching the show, the actor who plays Carlton's character, I can't remember his name right now, but kudos to him. Like, he needs some kind of award. He is so good at this character and portraying someone with anxiety that, like, when I'm watching it and Carlton is like pulling on his shirt and like can't breathe, I can't breathe. And it's maybe because I've felt that feeling before, and I understand that feeling of just feeling like everything is like closing in on you. I don't know, but his performance, kudos to him. It's so good. It's so good, and he's such a great actor. But so he's having an attack. Will comes over to comfort him, and he's like, see what's going on, and Carlton is just basically like breaking down and telling him like, don't tell mom and dad, which is a clear sign. So I hope Will tells Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, because clearly the switching the medication and lowering the dosage and all that, it's not working for Carlton right now. Like it's not going well. It's not. And Will decides he's like, listen, see, I got you. Obviously Carlton's not doing the speech, so Will decides, listen, I'm gonna be the hero of the day. Will grabs the sign and runs to the top of the school and puts a sign on the building saying Black Teachers Matter. It says Black Teachers Matter, right? I believe, yeah, Black Teachers Matter. Then he starts a whole chant, Black Teachers Matter, Black Teachers Matter. And my predictions for upcoming episodes is it's not looking good for Carlton with the BSU. These are my predictions. So I feel like the BSU, because Carlton had an anxiety attack and didn't go through with his speech and wasn't the leader that they all thought he was going to be, and they don't know about his anxiety, so they're probably just gonna think that he's a sellout, unfortunately. And I feel like they're gonna like probably shun him, unfortunately, and he's gonna go back to hanging out with the likes of Connor, which is absolutely terrible. And he's probably gonna get into some drugs. Now we know he snorts Xanax. What was it that he snorted? Some anxiety medicine. I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember, but we know he did that. But I feel like he's gonna get into some heavy stuff, cocaine and all of that. Yeah, I feel like he's gonna get into some heavy stuff, and it's gonna go really bad for Carlton. unfortunately. And I love, like I said, I really love the character of Carlton. I think he's so sweet, and I think he has really good qualities. I do feel like his anxiety sets him back in a lot of ways, and unfortunately, this is going to be one of them. I would hope that they are understanding, and maybe he can explain to them that he does deal with anxiety, and that is why he couldn't perform to the best of his abilities as a leader in the protest. But I'm not sure how much they're going to buy of that, so good luck with that. I do think that they're gonna like shun him out, and then he's going to be fallback with Connor and all of them, which really makes me annoyed and sad because I hate that for him. I like Carlton embracing the Black community and his community at Bel-Air Academy, but I just think that that's just not gonna go well because it's a dramatic show, and so they like to bring the drama and they like to just explode things. So that's what I think is gonna happen. Okay, so the whole episode was basically about this protest, but two things that I do want to touch on before I end this video is, one, Hillary and Ivy. Like I said in my previous video, I don't like Ivy. Ivy is not a friend to Hillary, and I hope Hillary at this point is understanding that. I think Jazz said in previous episodes that they are not friends, they're frenemies. That's a pretty good way to describe them, because Ivy is not a friend to Hillary, and I really hope that Hillary gets the picture because it's blatantly obvious now. So in this episode, Hillary is trying to get a sponsorship deal for the house. She is trying to get Simply Spiked to be the sponsored drink of the house, and you know, Hillary is doing her thing. Like I said, like, Hillary is that girl. She knows how to market. She knows how to get the attention. But the rep for Simply Spike, she did let Hillary know that they would want Ivy to be a part of the deal because Ivy has like 10 million followers. So she goes to speak to Ivy, and Ivy is being Ivy. Same old Ivy that I know her to be. Hillary goes to her photo shoot trying to talk to her. She is literally ignoring her. Every word Hillary is telling her, she is talking over her. She's doing her makeup. She's talking to other people. She's just being so rude. It's honestly just so obnoxious. Like, her character, I just want to claw her eyes out. Like, ugh. So basically, she's not paying attention to her, and she's like, okay, Hill, like, we'll talk about it later. They go to talk about it later. She is an hour late to their meeting that they're supposed to talk about this deal. Basically, she turns Hillary down. She says, no, I don't want to do it because H2O Ivy should be the drink of the house, and I don't want to endorse the competition. And Hillary is trying to explain to her how this is great for the house, and she's like, okay, that might be true, but I don't agree to it, so kick rocks. And Hillary was like, oh, okay, bet. She does text the rep for Simply Spike back and says she's ready to close the deal. Now, I don't really know how that's going to go because Ivy clearly just said she didn't want to be a part of it. I'm thinking Hillary's going to get like another influencer to be the spokeswoman for it, for the house. I was thinking Sweetie because Sweetie was in the first episode and she's friends with Hillary. So I'm like, maybe she's going to come back and be the influencer that Hillary needs to close the deal. I don't know. That's just my predictions. I would love to see Sweetie back because I do like Sweetie. But I'm sure Hillary has like other influencer and famous friends. So listen. Like I said, Hillary is that girl, and she's gonna do whatever she needs to do to get the deal and the job done. So if I don't want to do it, okay, go, goodbye, we don't need you. All right, she will find a way, and I think she is gonna find a way. with another influencer. That is my prediction with that. Okay, so let's talk about Perry the Platypus, aka Jeffrey, aka 007. All right, so in this episode, I'm so mad with Bel-Air because they've been giving us this much of Jeffrey time, and it's so annoying because his character is just so interesting. He's just so interesting, and we want to know more about him, and they're not giving us what we want, or what I want. Can't speak for everybody else, but I think everybody else thinks like me. We want to know more about him. They just give us a few little moments and scenes with him, and it's so annoying. But in this episode, we got a scene with him. Jeffrey's at the Banks family home. He's working. He thinks Phil is at the office because Phil went back to his office, to his firm in episode 1 or 2. Because, you know, he dropped out of the politician race, so he's going back to work as a lawyer. So Jeffrey thinks that he's at the office, and he logs into Phil's computer trying to find something. We don't even know what the something is, but I am going to guess that he is trying to find information on his son. Now in episode 2, when Phil and Jeffrey was talking at the cigar bar, they were talking about his son, and Phil was telling Jeffrey, like, you know why you can't have contact with your son, and it's for the better and all that. And Jeffrey was like, I know that, but you know, like, my heart, like, I still want my son and all this stuff. And all of that, with all that messiness with his son, is why he even was influenced to give Will information on his own father, Lou. So something is brewing inside Jeffrey. Whatever deal that happened with him and his son to leave his son is weighing on him. And I feel like he broke into Uncle Phil's laptop to find information about his son, because Uncle Phil knows something about his son. Now, another theory I have is that he's trying to find something on Uncle Phil because he didn't fully accept Uncle Phil's apology, but I don't think that's the case. I think he's really trying to find some information about his son, and Uncle Phil has it. Because Uncle Phil, he's also a man of, I feel like he has all this information, you know? So he's looking into the laptop. He don't even get anywhere because he hears Uncle Phil's voice, and then Uncle Phil comes into his office, and so Jeffrey has to like shuffle and act like he wasn't on the laptop. So then Jeffrey's like, oh, I'm just catching up on work, just looking at like the itinerary. And they have a little conversation when Uncle Phil walks in, and Uncle Phil lets him know that he is feeling a little uneasy about his about the other partner at the firm, and how he thinks like he's a little shady. So he tells Jeffrey to look into him. So I'm sure that's going to be a bit of a storyline. And then Jeffrey leaves, and then Uncle Phil checks his computer, and he checks his drawers and all of that just to make sure that like nothing's off. So I feel like even Uncle Phil knows that Jeffrey is up to something, and he's probably like looking into something and trying to find his son. I don't know what that relationship, like what that storyline is with Jeffrey and his son, and him having to leave his son and not having contact, but it is juicy. And it is very messy, let me tell you. The way they're setting it up, I can't wait. Like I said in my last video, I need a whole episode about Jeffrey, or a majority of the episode about Jeffrey, because they give us bits and pieces of this man, but he like has the most intriguing and interesting life of all the characters. So it's so annoying that we only get bits and pieces of him, but I think that little by little they're gonna give us something. But I need them to give us a lot more. So that situation with Jeffrey and his son and Uncle Phil, that is going to be the gag. So I am here for more Jeffree drama this season, and I can't wait. We're only on episode 3. There's 10 episodes in this season. Well, at least there should be. There was 10 episodes last season, so hopefully there's 10 episodes this season. We're only on episode 3, and it's so juicy. And like I'm saying this now, they better renew this for a season 3 because it is so good. It is so good. It's ridiculous how good it is. Well, guys, this is the end of the episode, and I'm so happy that we got through episode 3 of Bel-Air together. I hope you enjoyed the episode. We are 3 down and we have 7 more to go, and I am so excited to get into the drama of it all. So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my videos. Okay, hit that notification bell because it is going to get so juicy breaking down these episodes, and I have a lot more I want to do with these videos, so please don't miss out on any of my videos, and please share it too. If you like this video, share it with your friends, share it on your social media. Make sure to get the word out, and until next time, you are beautiful, you are loved, I love you, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye. Mwah.